Hello dear students, I am Dr. Sanjay Pagar, Associate Professor, Department of Geography. Dear student, I welcome all of you in this online lecture series on behalf of Maratha Vidya Prasar Samajas, KRT Arts, BH Commerce and AM Science, popularly known as KTHM College Nasi. Dear student, this is our SYBSE Geography class, semester 4, and title of our subject is Environmental Geography Part 2. Dear student, today we are going to discuss our topic number 4, that is environmental program and policy. And in this topic we have subtopic, that is Stockholm Conference 1972. Dear student, in previous lecture we have discussed detailed information about the role of public in environmental conservation in India. For today's lecture, we have a such study objective or learning objective that is very simple to discuss the detailed information about Stockholm Conference of 1972. Dear student, you know that the United Nations Environmental Program, that is UNEP, is the leading environmental authority in the United Nations system. Dear student, the United Nations, the environmental program always concerned about the environment quality. From the beginning, since today, it has made policy as well as organized several conferences for protection and the conservation of the environment. The United Nations Environmental Program is the leading global environmental authority that set the global environmental agenda, promote the implementation of the environmental dimension of the sustainable. Dear student, the United Nations Environmental Program has worked in the different sector of the environment, the conservation, the protection of the environment, as well as make policy for that the main aim of the United Nations Environmental Program. Dear student, the work of United Nations Environmental Program has been categorized into the 7 broad thematic areas. It includes climate change, the disaster and conflicts, ecosystem management, environmental governance, chemical and waste, resource efficiency, and last but not the least, environmental under review. So these are the 7 important areas on which the United Nations Environmental Program is defined. Dear student, the United Nations Conference on the Environment from the 5th June to 16th June 1972 was held at the Stockholm. This is the capital of the Sweden. The 1972 United Nations Conference on the Environment in Stockholm was the first world conference to make the environment as the major issue and they discuss about the protect the environment and the, minimize the intensity of the environmental program, the environmental problem that we face at the international level. The conference held in the Stockholm, that's the capital of the Sweden, from June 5 to 16, 1972, reflected a growing interest in the conservation issue worldwide and laid the foundation for the global environmental governance. Dear student, this is the first major attempt on the global level to solve the global problem of the conservation and the regulation of the human environment by international agreement on a universal level. Dear student, the representative from 113 nations and over the 400 non-governmental organizations, that is NGO, attended the Stockholm Conference in 1972. Dear student, the significant achievement of this conference, that is the UN conference on the human environment, where declaration on the human environment is accepted by the conference. In this conference by the various representatives from the various countries. The Stockholm Declaration on the human environment is divided into the 2 parts. The part first, the proclaims 7 truths about man in relation to his environment and contains the general observation. It includes man is both creature and the molder of his environment. Second was the protection and the improvement of the human environment is the major issue. Third one was man has constantly to sum up the experience and go on discovering, the inventing, the creating and the advancing. Next one is In the developing country, most of the environmental problems are caused by underdevelopment. Then we have number 5. The natural growth of the population continuously represent problem for the prevention of the environment and the adequate policy. Then you have a point has been raised in the history when we must shape our action throughout the world with a more frequent the care for the environmental consequences. And last thing was to achieve this environmental goal will demand the acceptance of the responsibility by the citizen and community if you want to keep ecological balance and minimize the intensity of the environmental problem. And with this regard, these all things are very important. Dear student, let us talk about the part second. The part second of the Declaration on the Human Environment, 26th principle was assigned in this part second and given detailed information about this 26th principle in the part second, and that are the really very useful for the framing the environmental program, the activity, and the various policy by at the global level by each and every country. Let us talk about what are these 26 major principles that have give a really clue to framing the program of the various related to the environment at the international level. This principle provide the basic of the international policy for the protection and the improvement of the environment. The meeting agree upon the declaration the containing 26 principles concerning the environment and the development, and the action plan with the 109 recommendation and the resolution that was part of this part second. Let us talk about what was the principle that was included in the Stockholm Declaration. The first very important, that is the human right must be asserted, the rights and the colonization the condemned. That was also the very important the principle of the first principle of this 26 principle out of this 26 principle. Second is natural resources must be safeguarded. This is really very important. You know that all the human development or you can say the economical development that is totally depend on the natural resources that we have available around us. So in this regard, this principle is very important. We have to use this all the natural resources very carefully when we are carried out our economical development. That time we have to keep this principle in our mind. Next one, the earth capacity to produce the renewable resources must be maintained. That is also very important. And next one is the wildlife must be safeguarded, because this is a very important if you want to keep the ecological and the ecosystem balance. With this respect, this principle is very important. Let us talk about the another principle, that the non-renewable resources must be shared and not be excited. That is also important if you want to sustain our development. So in this regard, this principle is very important. We have to use all the non-renewable resources very carefully, and instead of that we have to try to use the renewable resources like solar energy, like tidal energy, like hydroelectricity, that we have to use. So that is a very good option. For that purpose, this principle is really very useful. Then we have the pollution must be not exceed the environmental capacity to clean it. So this is also very important. Damaging the oceanic pollution must be prevented. That is also important, particularly for the marine ecosystem that we have in the ocean. For that purpose, this type of the principle is very important, because at the international, suppose we want to keep the ecological balance, that in this regard, this principle is very important. Let us talk about the another principle. Development is needed to improve the environment. That is also important. So we have to use the technology in such a way for our economic development or to fulfill the various needs of the human being. When we use the technology, that time there should not be any harmful effect on the environment. So in this regard, we have to improve our technology in such a way there should not be any harm to our environment. Developing country therefore need the assistance. That is also important, because the main problem that are facing the developing country, they don't have the technology that is very useful for the to keep the ecological balance. So due to the economic condition and the lack of technology, they are facing this problem. So in this regard, this principle is very important. And developing country need reasonable the price for the export to carry out the environmental management. And in this regard, developed country can be helped to developing and the developing country to export such type of technology to this developing country, that by using this technology they can able to do this environmental management at that particular place at their own country. Then we have the environmental policy must not be hamper development. That is very important. So here sustainable development is very important. You should continue your economic development, but there should not be any harmful impact on the environment. So your economic development should use the sustainability, the various ways of sustainability that can be sustain your economic development, as well as the keep the ecological balance and the protect the environment of what we have at your premises. So that is also very important things. Then we have the developing country need money to develop environmental safeguard. That is also important principle. Then we have the integrated development policies needed. That is very important. You know that, student, if you want to continue your economic development, so simultaneously if you want to sustain your development and also the keep the ecological and the environmental balance, that time we have to frame a policy in a such a way, the integrated policy that give encourage to economic development, as well as it also help and support to the ecological balance and also maintain the environmental quality of your environment. So in this respect, this principle was really very useful. Another very important principle, that is a rational policy should be resolved conflict between the environment and the development. Particularly, this principle is very important with respect to the some African and the North American country where we have this main problem. This country, this region are facing. The human settlement must be planned to eliminate the environmental problem. That is very important. Whenever we are going to construct or the settle the new settlement, that time there should not be any harmful effect on the environment. It may be forest or maybe the other natural resources that should not be damaged when we construct the new or the settle the new human settlement. That we have to keep in our mind. The government should plan their own appropriate population policy. That is very important. Particularly, I repeat again that the country those are facing the problem of the overpopulation, they should make their own policy in such a way there should not be any damage on their environment. That is very important. Particularly in the most of the ASEAN and the African countries, they have facing this type of the problem. Even in India, China, Pakistan, these are the countries where this problem is a major issue. So India's purpose, they frame a policy in such a way there should be the not to miss the too much population growth in that country. So if they try to minimize the population growth and also protect the environmental quality whatever they have in their country. In this respect, this principle is very important. National institution must plan development for the state's natural resources. That is very important. It is a duty of each and every country that they construct the plan or the policy in such a way there should not be any harm for their natural resources, because these natural resources are very useful if you want to minimize the intensity of the environmental problem and the various issues that are related to damage the environmental quality. In this respect, this principle is very important. Then science and technology must be used to improve the environment. Especially, I am talking those are the country where we have lack of the science and technology's knowledge about to continue their sustainable development. The country like a developing country and the underdeveloped country, in that country they have a lack of the science and technology and the other knowledge that is not useful for the sustainable development. So in this respect, the developed country should hand over or they should give some technology and the technique to protect the environment of that particular country, and also they can be able to continue their economical development. So in this regard, this principle is really very important. Environmental education is very essential. Dear student, you know that the main important thing, if you want to sustain our sustainable development and to protect the ecological balance, the environmental quality, in this regard, the environmental education is very important. We should start this type of the education from the primary level that can make awareness in the people in their attitude toward the conservation of the environment, to minimize the intensity of the environmental problem, or the whatever the problem we are facing at the international level, like global warming, ozone depletion, acid rain, climate change. The human being is responsible for this, creating such type of the problem and increase the intensity of this problem at the international level. So the main responsibility of the human being, he try to minimize his behavior in such a way that should not be any damage on our environment that we have around us. So in this regard, the attitude of the society should be changed. There should be the eco-friendly attitude. Their attitude should be in such a way that always support to the minimize the intensity of the environmental problem, and to preserve the prevents the quality of the environment. So the education can change this. So therefore, the environmental education, we should start from the primary level that create the behavior and the attitude of the people and the society, and that will be the definitely useful for the protect the environmental quality. Then we have the environmental research must be promoted, particularly in the developing country where we have a lack of technology and the lack of knowledge about the environmental protection. State may exploit their resources as they wish, but not the endangered other. That is also important. Then where the compensation is due to the state is endangered. So that also the basic principle that are useful for the give the guideline and the clue to frame the program and the activity that are related to the protection of the environment. Then we have the another important principle that each nation must establish its own standard. That is very important, because as per the reason, the intensity of the such type of the problem is not same. It is different from place to place. So therefore, this is very important principle in this regard. There must be the cooperation at the international level about the issue to solve such type of the global warming, climate change. These are the ozone. These are the international level problem, global level problem. If you want to control the intensity of this problem, then definitely there is a need of the international cooperation from the each country. So then we can able to do this thing. Then we have the international organization should be held to improve the environmental quality. That's also important. I just mentioned we have some regional institutes or some organization like a SARC, OPEC, or the this type of the organization can play a very important role in improving the quality of the environment at the international level. And last, very important principle, that is weapon of mass destruction must be eliminated. We should not use the weapon, because we have experience during the Second World War. The use of the bomb was done by the America and the Japan, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. At that time, there was a lot of damage. Even some, even that whole the most part of that Japan was disturbed due to the use of the weapon. That should not be repeated again. So therefore, in this regard, this principle is very important, dear student. So this by using this 26 principle, we can able to frame very nice the program and the policy that will be the helpful for the improve the quality of the environment and they minimize the intensity of the various environmental program at the international level. The second wave gave the birth of important development at the international level stage. They were the World Commission on the Environment and Development of 1986, Rio Conference of 1992, the Kyoto Protocol of 1997, and the Johannesburg Summit 2002. These all things are very important in this regard. Dear student, in next lecture we are going to discuss about all these things. If you want to take a more knowledge about this today's topic, then you can use these references as well as this website. I'm sure that if you use this website, definitely you will update your knowledge about this topic. This was about today's lecture. In next lecture, we are going to discuss other two important things. That is, first is the Rio de Janeiro Conference and the Kyoto Protocol of 1997. Okay, thank you.